All right, PBS drama lovers, I'm Kate, I'm here for the drama, and we're gonna talk about Marie Antoinette, episode 3, Pick a Princess. Ding. Okay, the royal family goes on a holiday. The animosity between Madame du Barry and Marie Antoinette is really heating up. The king is kind of over it. The countess is actually scheming to find a bride for Provence, Louis's younger brother, who is the spare, not the heir, as she put it in episode 2. But if he finds a bride and him and the new bride produce an heir, then Marie and Louis are out. The king sort of attempts to talk to Marie Antoinette to get her to make nice with the countess so things in the royal court can be at peace again. But Marie is not having it. She sort of disses her, gives her the cold shoulder, and is really standing her ground. Well, we find out Madame du Barry doesn't back down either. She actually doubles down and basically tells the king, no more night visits to my chamber until you get Marie Antoinette, the Dauphine, to publicly acknowledge my existence. And so again, we see that power struggle between her and Marie Antoinette. And eventually, after the king kind of kidnaps Marie Antoinette and roughs her up a little and says, you will do this, you will acknowledge her. And this nasty letter from her own mother, who basically calls her a traitor to Austria and a disgrace. Talk about a toxic mom. But eventually Marie does it. There's a little curtsy to the countess, and things are sort of at peace again. For now. And actually, I think this pleases Louis too, because that means Marie gets to stick around and we see them starting to make that connection finally. And it ends on this really touching scene between the two. And she says, yo, your family is mega scary. I want to go home. He says, please don't leave me. I will protect you, which is very sweet. And honestly, I think he's scared of his own family too. So they really only have each other. A lot to talk about. Megan. So I looked up Madame du Barry because I was curious about how accurate how accurate her portrayal was in this. And she sounded pretty bold. She came from nothing. Yep. And was a lady of the night and was so well liked by, of course, the men. But made her way to the royal court because the king loved her so much. But the only way she could get there was to marry someone that was higher up.
And the king found somebody for her to marry, right?
Yes, yeah. Because he wanted her there.
Yeah.
And she also forged her birth certificate.
Changed the date of her birth, yeah.
3 years younger, and also 3 years younger, but also of more nobility a little bit. But anyway, she's kind of badass.
What I couldn't get a good read on is how historically accurate is like all of the like political chess playing that she was doing.
It sounds like it was somewhat accurate. Oh. She had some schemes, some machinations. I think she knew what she was doing.
She knows what she's doing.
Because, men rule very much so at this time, and so she has a power over men. So that's what she does.
You gotta use what you got, right?
Right.
You gotta use the tools in your toolbox. That's basically what Marie Antoinette's mom has been telling her this whole time.
Innuendo there. So Provence doesn't take a liking, to put it nicely, to Josephine, and he doesn't want to marry her, but also he could be king if he does, and they produce an heir. I know Provence is the spare, not the heir, but why is he so nasty?
He is a little turd. Are we allowed to call him a turd?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he is.
But again, think about how young Marie Antoinette and Louis are. He's even younger.
Yeah.
And he's still like kind of snide beyond his years.
But is it him being the spare that makes him so evil? Is it just all this rage built up and jealousy towards Louis?
It's that they're all evil, Kate.
Ah, that's true. Yeah. There isn't a nice person there except for
Mops
person.
We've got 8 episodes, right? So like at what point does this season get into, does she produce an heir by the end of it? Because if so, they're gonna have to speed up the timeline.
Absolutely.
Because it takes a while. Spoiler alert, it takes a minute.
That's where I keep running into trouble, but is because I'm reading facts about the actual rule of Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI and watching the show at the same time. So, you know, she falls off the boat and I'm like, oh,
Did it really
will
happen?
she drown? Did it really happen? But no, she didn't drown. There was so much more after that. But so anyway, I'm trying to combine facts with this. Obviously, they're taking liberties. That's what you have to do to make a good,
Sure.
Period drama. And then, of course, go watch episode 4 either on PBS Passport or on the air Sunday night at 10 p.m. and join us back here for the drama.
And the pugs.
One pug, mostly.